I see we're live. Hello,
Hello,
Anna. How
how
are
are
you?
you? I'm
Doing
doing
fine at
good,
the beginning of the week and summertime. It's officially
right?
summer, I think. A ver, when is gonna be summer? Summer begins Tuesday, officially.
Oh wow, it's
Yes. So
already so hot outside.
and we're still not in summer.
I didn't
It's
know that.
the beginning. So summer officially begins tomorrow. So everybody, thank you for being here with us. We're here live. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. Okay.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. That's true to all of you, right? What else? There's some families, right, that the father is the mother, right? I mean, like, the mom is not there or they're divorced. Or sometimes we have families that is a mom, but she serves both, right? And my respects to all of those moms that they can do it on their own, or those fathers, right, that they're on their own. Because, yes, raising children is tough. But
It's
I'm
fun.
yes, fun, but it is tough. So big tough to all of you fathers. I hope you enjoy the barbecues and I don't know your day, whatever it is that you did, grilling and whatever fun activities.
Yes,
What do you do
Happy
for
Father's
Father's Day?
Day.
What do you do, Anna? Do you do anything for Father's
We
Day?
went to my mom's house for breakfast. My uncle came from Reynosa, so we had breakfast there. My mom had her brother and her sister there, an uncle and an aunt. And we were there. And then in the afternoon, we came home and just chilled. Um, we don't have children, so I still gave my husband a gift on behalf of the dog and
Of
the
course,
cats.
you
It
do.
was
You do
it was it's a T-shirt that said like every barbecue you make, every plate you serve or something. I'll be watching you, and it's the photo of a dog.
Ah,
Cause
that's super cute. Besides, it also counts for fur. What is it? Fur parents. ¿O what is it? ¿Cómo le dicen? Fur
for
baby.
babies, I guess.
Babies. También eres papá de los animalitos, ¿no?
I guess I mean, you can't compare, right? But we celebrate everything, so
Of
it's okay.
course. That's the point, to be happy and celebrate. I think you did the right thing. For me, it's an excuse to eat cake. So I had an almond cake yesterday. Yes, it's not even my day, but I mean, I'm eating cake. So that makes me happy. So today we're with step number 9. Remember, friends, that we'll be talking about the buying process. So we are going through in detail of the 13 steps of buying a property, okay, buying a home for you to become a happy homeowner. So today is going to be a step 9. We're almost there, and it's going to be why inspections are needed and at what time you should be doing inspections. So Anna is an expert in lending. I'm an expert on real estate. So if you have any questions or you want to ask any questions right now, you are happy to do so. And we're here. Any questions that you may have, let us know. We are live. So inspections, Anna, tell me, do you have anything to add?
So, for example, a lot of people ask me, are inspections required? We don't, as a lender, require a home inspection, although we suggest that you do it. Why? Just for peace of mind, to make sure that somebody checked your house and that it's in working condition. I can say though that if it's a VA loan, one for veterans, a termite inspection is needed. That's
Yes.
the only inspection that we will require when it's a termite, and when it's a VA loan, a termite inspection is needed. The veteran will need to get a copy of the report and sign off on it that they reviewed it and went over it with them.
Anna, do out of curiosity, right? Why
Mhm.
is so important for veterans a VA, I mean, a termite inspection instead of a general inspection? I mean, wouldn't you think that they should pay more attention to the general inspection? I mean, just to make sure that major components of the home, foundation, electrical, what is a roof, all of that is incorrect. I mean, is good. Why?
I guess because the appraisers, in order to do a VA appraisal, you have to be certified to do those kind of appraisals. Not every appraiser can do FHA conventional and VA. So maybe the VA feels comfortable that the appraiser itself already went into a lot of detail on the home. So
I
then they require the termite.
That's good.
Although most, I would say, I'm gonna say probably if it's resale, probably 95%, 99% get a home inspection. So
Yes.
it's not required, but I would say the majority do get one.
Talking about inspections, friends, it is really important. I will highly, highly recommend you to get an inspection. And there's several, I will say exceptions right in the market, because we run into those clients that will say, I don't want to, right? Especially if it is a cash offer.
That's usually me. I
Exactly.
always say no.
But
Like when I bought my properties, I said no inspection. The reason why,
Mhm.
one, because when I go see the house, I take my time. So I take my time, I look at everything. I think a lot of it is visual. Can you see stuff?
Yes.
My husband is in construction, so
Okay.
he kind of knows a lot of it too. And then I guess one of my pet peeves, one of the things that I don't like is that you do an inspection, the inspection report doesn't say everything, they're gonna miss things, and then it's like you don't have no guarantee. Like you don't have the inspector doesn't say, oh, like I missed it, let me pay you, or I didn't get you a warranty. So when I have done them, I've done them visually. Only one house that I bought was a very old home, and
Mm-hmm.
I said, what, I'm gonna do an inspection because this is outside my range. The other ones were mostly newer.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, for the old one, I did do the home inspection. And an advantage of doing one, I noticed, and it was kind of like one of the last houses that I bought, is that when the report came back with a lot of issues, I was able to negotiate the price down because of that.
Exactly.
So I guess it's an advantage to do one because you can renegotiate whether they fix the things, lower the price, or maybe give you a seller credit.
Yes.
Um, I don't know. How do you pick an inspector?
Okay, so then let me first go into, because I don't want our friends to get confused thinking that they don't require an inspection, because in reality, I think it's huge. Now, if Anna is an investor, right, as well as she's a lender, so she has experience and she can take that risk because she's using her own money, because she's a cash buyer, right? So she can decide. And of course, she's assuming the risk in case there's a problem with the roof, with the AC, foundation, electrical, plumbing, because Anna's gonna have to fix it. She has the liquidity to do it and she can take the risk. But if you, I have a lot of cash buyers that will tell me, no, right? I really want to know what I'm buying, right? I want to make sure that if something is wrong, a major component with the home is wrong, I want the seller to give me some credit. I want him to fix it. Especially also, remember, there's two kinds of inspections. One is a general inspection, which is the complete house, right? And the other inspection, it will be the termite. Now, all of those, require some money, because if the termite comes positive, I think the lowest is $500, right? More or less. And a lot of termite inspectors will charge you even more than $500 to do a termite inspection. So you're running 750. That you could potentially save if you send a pest inspector, right? Before continuing, during the contingency period. Because remember, we have a termination option, which means that it depends the days that you negotiated with the seller. Let's say, for example, you have 10 days. That's the usual, right? 10 days to inspect. During that time, you're going to send the two inspectors. If something comes up with the property, you can get money back, right? Let's say a seller's credit if you want to fix it yourself. Because there's a lot of clients that would say, I want to make sure that I fix it correctly, right? So I want a credit. Some people will say, I don't like to deal with people. I want a house ready to move in. Tell them to fix it and just give me a receipt, right? But in my experience, I've run into huge issues, right? That they were not visible, because we, as brokers or real estate realtors, when we walk into a home, we know if there's going to be a risk, because we do this on a daily, daily life. This is what we do, right? So as soon as we walk in, we're looking at stains at the roof, right? Which we want to make sure that there's no leaks in the roof. We also feeling the temperature of the home. We also looking at, I don't know, we don't have a license, right? But we can see if there's any red flags. So we're gonna let you know, hey, I mean, I saw some stains here and there. I mean, it is highly recommended you get your inspector. Even though you're gonna pay some amount of money, but you can walk out of the contract, right? Regardless if you are cash or a loan, right? Because we don't want any issues. We don't want, I mean, people to feel like, hey, you should have told me this and that, right?
Yes.
And I don't know. In my experience, I found houses that they look perfect, right? And all of a sudden they have a foundation issue, right? I mean, a crack. I mean, that only an inspector can see. Me, visually, I didn't see it. Because per law, I mean, as per TREC law, Texas Real Estate Commission, we are supposed to guide our clients, we as realtors and brokers, and we are supposed to tell them, hey, I think this is a red flag home. Maybe you shouldn't, I mean, present an offer. Why? Because potentially, if you present an offer in this home, you're going to be spending with inspections at least, I don't know, $800. I mean, 350 for the home inspection, $85 for the pest inspection, $100 for the termination option. So our fiduciary responsibility is to save them money. So then we walk into a home, we're looking, right? And we tell them, you know what, it looks good. I mean, this home, I think you can present an offer. Okay. But I do fairly understand why some cash buyers will say, I don't wanna, do inspections. But remember, friends, I said cash buyers.
And it's not like we're not doing an inspection. It's like I'm not hiring somebody to do it, but I'm kind of do it myself with my husband because again, he has the background. But you said something, and I have a question. You said that we can do either a pest inspection or a termite inspection.
No.
They're different.
No, the pest is one, right? It's termite. Usually it's called WDI. That's what we call it. Wood destroying insects. So really what we're protecting our buyers is for them to buy a home that it has an infestation. Obviously, it's usually wood related, right? Wood destroying insects. But sometimes we run into issues like cockroaches, like mice infestation, I don't know, bees. I mean, a lot of things happen, right? But in reality, we are more focused on the wood destroying insect, even the mice, right? Than the mice, because we need to protect the investment property of the new buyer, right? And obviously, wood destroying insects will destroy your home. So then it is two different inspectors. I mean, one is the pest inspector, which is going to be checking all wood destroying insects, mice, cockroaches, whatever, bees, right? And the other one is the general inspection, which is the major components of the home. So our, again, fiduciary responsibility, right, by law, we are supposed to be protecting the roof, right? Because that will be very expensive if you run into an issue later on that you need to change a complete roof or is leaking or whatever, right? You're talking about $20,000. So then we're concentrating on the roof, we're concentrating on the AC, even though the AC is not as expensive, but still, for some people, 5,000, 6,000 could be a lot.
Starting, yeah.
Exactly, it will add up. And obviously, foundation issues, they're expensive issues, right? Electrical plumbing, you run into some houses, but only if they're super old, like from the 70s. But in reality, you might find something like an outlet is not working, right?
Not the proper outlets too. I see that GFI outlets missing.
GFCIs, and we have a lot of the GFCIs, but then there's one trick there or one tip for you to know. If the house is usually it's called grandfather, right? If the house was built in the 90s and the 80s, whatever, 2000s, right? It passed code and inspection during those times, right? During those times, the house was up to code as per the city. Now, the rules change, right? If the house is from 2010 and we're 2022 now, there's new rules. So then that's why the inspector by law, they have to say to the buyer, you need to install GFCIs next to the sink in the kitchen or in the bathrooms because it's a new rule now. But not necessarily, right? The seller has to pay for it because it's not his fault, right? Buyer is not buying a brand new home. He's buying a home that it was built in 2000. So it's going to be up to code from the 2000s, right? Okay. So then those issues, we're not going to fix them because they're called grandfather issues by TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission. Okay, so then the only thing we are looking at is AC, roof, again, foundation, right? Obviously, if there's the outlets are not working, because they need to work, electrical, right? Plumbing, because everything has to be working as plumbing goes. So those are the major issues. that we see constantly and that we need to protect you. Now, one more thing. When you hire inspectors, those inspectors cannot be, unlike what Anna said, my husband, right? Or my uncle, or because they know about construction. I mean, no. Usually, I mean, to be protected by law, right, you have to use someone with a license. Let's say Texas Real Estate Commission license, right? Because they're professionals, they have a license, they know what they're doing, and they will be able to guide you, right? Because potentially in the future, you can use that inspection report, right, to say, hey, I was protected, right? Look, right? I didn't know, no one checked. Now, one more thing, it is important what Anna said. Anna said, the inspection report, it will not cover you for the future. No, it will only cover at the time of inspection. So as the inspectors that I've talked to, and that is like a general rule, I mean, it will only be good for, let's say, a month, okay, from the time they did the inspection until now, right? But if that inspection will not be good, let's say if you're going to reuse an inspection 6 months later on, because you continue using this house and maybe something else came up. Maybe the AC now needs a maintenance, a deep maintenance with coils and all of that, right? Because especially where we live, no? We live in an area that we overuse AC. So then that is one of the major things that we see, right? AC always needs a maintenance done by an AC technician. And the maintenance is not just, just undusting or changing the filter. It's basically cleaning the whole engine, right, of the AC. That way you won't.
If the house has a pool, do they inspect the pool?
Yes, but not all inspectors, which is very good point. Thank you, Anna, for reminding me about that. Not all inspectors have a license to inspect the pool. Okay, so then you have to bring, we will have to contact someone that is an expert on checking pools. So usually I think there's like two in the area, two inspectors that I know of here in the McAllen area that they're certified pool inspectors. So they can do the house, they can do the pool, right? But if we choose an inspector that is not qualified, right, to inspect the pool, then our advice, or my advice to my clients, because remember, all of this is about protecting your investment, is to tell you, call someone with a license. Let's say, for an example, Hamlin Pools, right? Call Hamlin Pools and ask them to come and inspect the property. Sometimes they do it for free, right? Because they want the business, right? But this is what they do, right? So they will come and check, and they will basically, you're checking the equipment, the pool equipment, right? We're not really so concerned about cosmetic details into the pool. Like, it's missing a tile. Is the blue is not as blue? We're not looking into that. We're looking into the pool equipment, because remember, inspections is to protect your money. Okay, it's not about cosmetic issues, because it's already understood that you're buying a home that is a resale home, so it has had use. Now, this is different if this is a new construction home, right? With a new construction pool, then everything should be almost, there's nothing as perfect, but almost near, okay, everything in good condition, right? 100% correct. So yes, two different inspectors, or one inspector that is licensed with a pool. That they can inspect pools for sure.
When an inspector does the inspection, does the buyer need to be present to?
Oh, that's very good. I love that. I've been doing this for 11 years. So then I personally, right, advise all my buyers, right, to be present at the time of inspection. Listen, the buyers, not the seller. The seller is not required and should not be, okay, present, because we still don't want you to meet, because a lot of things can happen. We're still negotiating, right? And I don't think it's a good time, right? It's not convenient for either seller or buyer. Okay, so then the idea is seller goes, right? The way the inspector and the buyer have enough time to review the home and to talk about it. And the buyer will ask questions to the inspector, because this is what I tell my buyers, right? Usually I want you to be present if he mentions something that is major, because look, this is the thing, friends. You as a realtor, you have to educate your buyer as well as the seller. You need to educate them. That way you can have a smooth closing and everybody's happy. Okay. So then I educate both, right? Whenever I have the chance. But let's talk about the buyer, because buyer is usually, this is the first house, then it's going to be a little bit more challenging, right? Especially when they involve friends, mother, father, the uncle, la madrina, el tío, you know. So then now we're going to have an issue, because remember, you should be making the decisions on your own, okay? I understand that you will bring someone, right? Because you want an opinion.
Mhm.
But if the person has never owned a home or bought a home into the real estate, and you are the first generation, because we have a lot of those, buying a property for the first time, then I will say no. Okay, you need to trust. Okay, you need to trust the inspectors with license, they're professionals. You need to trust us. You know, I mean, because a lot of times, I mean, those new buyers will end up breaking the contract because of an opinion of someone that has never bought a home before, right? And you know what they say, Anna? They usually say, well, this horrible story happened to a friend of mine. I mean, we're talking about maybe 10 years ago. I mean, it doesn't even apply now. And maybe we don't know everything that happened during that transaction. That doesn't mean that you're going to be buying something now and same thing is going to happen to you. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, our parents sometimes, right? Our uncles, our whatever, sisters and friends, I don't know. I think it's a double-edged sword. You never know if the comment is good. I mean, it's coming to help you or it's not, right? But I mean, my advice to you is trust the experts, okay? Trust the inspectors. Okay, so I got a little bit off topic, but I was telling you, I was talking.
Do they have to be present? Can they just show up at the end if it takes a long time?
Yes, also I have the ones that work, right? Clients that work and they will tell me I won't be able to be present, right? So then that's fine, right? They can show up the end or they don't have to go at all. And we send them a very detailed, report. I mean, the inspector does. You review it, and then if you have any questions, all of our inspectors are really nice. You can always call them and they can, if you have any questions
Go
or
over.
further explanation, they will
Okay.
explain to you, right? So that is also done, but I'm going to be honest, the buyers that I've dealt with recently, um, no. I mean, they usually want to be present. They usually want more, right?
Mhm.
More of
Well,
this.
because I think when you go see the house for the first time, you're in 5, 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And so then when you do the inspection, you have time to kind of see it again. So I can see the why you would want to be there so that you can peek into the house and see it a little bit more in
Yeah.
detail.
And they also ask a lot of questions, right? Because remember, a buyer's, I mean, I guess worst fear is to buy something that is not in good condition
A
and is
money pit.
exactly. And that as soon as I buy the home, now I'm gonna have to change a $20,000 roof. That's what there's the concern, right? Or the termite is a big concern for some people. Mold is a huge concern. The AC, yes, it is a concern, but it's not as big as foundation. I mean, roof, some kind of infestation, right? So then they usually are there and they take their time. I mean, and you will be surprised. I mean, they'll stay there, I mean, an hour and a half. I feel a little bad for my inspectors, though. We love you guys. Thank you for everything you do. But I mean, it's part of I guess it's part of the industry, right? It's part of the business where inspectors need to explain, right, in detail, I mean, what the buyer is buying. Why? Because it's the biggest investment of their life. And this is the first time they're buying a home, and it could be probably the last time they're buying a home. So they want to make sure, right, that what I'm buying, I'm going to be able to, it's not going to be a problem for me. Now, another thing for you to know about inspections, right? We usually negotiate in the inspection report a home warranty. Okay. Home warranty only covers AC, right? And appliances. I mean, it now doesn't cover the roof or the foundation, right? Or electrical or plumbing. So some of our clients and buyers feel very comfortable, right, with a home warranty because they're concerned about the AC working so hard as it works in the area. So they feel like peace of mind, right? Even though that they will request a AC maintenance for whatever, I mean, if it comes up, they're going to request it. But they also know that if the unit stops cooling, they can just call the home warranty, right? And it will be replaced or fixed for $75 service fee. So make sure that you know that you're aware about that when you're dealing or making offers. Make sure that you get the home warranty. Now, in our market right now is very competitive. So sometimes we don't add the home warranty because it's only $500. So it's no big deal in order to lose the house. You can always get it, right? I mean, whenever you want, you can get the home warranty. But it's also nice when we're able to get a free home warranty for you for a year. Anita,
So
so
if the seller doesn't pay the home warranty, the buyer can still pay for it.
exactly. You can always add it and it can be anytime. Doesn't have to be at the time of closing. It can be anytime. I mean, you can order one now, even though that you closed 6 months ago. It's okay. I mean, no problems. So Anna, have you had any issues with inspections lately? Or any questions that your buyers have asked you that we can answer?
We had an infestation of was bats.
Oh,
I had it. I mean, I've seen bats in the valley. I've seen them in my mom's house. I've seen them in my old house.
I have
Um,
bats. I think I have a bat. I mean,
I think they follow the palm trees,
yes, they live in the country.
and they're protected species. You can't kill them. They eat, I guess, a lot of ticks and insects that are bad for other animals. So I guess they're good in
Yes.
a way, but they're scary, right? So this house had a bat infestation. So the seller they installed some traps. They're not traps. They're basically like cones so that the bat can come out of wherever it was, leave the house, and not to come back.
Okay.
It's like an inverted cone or something. They installed some of those.
Yeah,
Uh,
the seller did that?
a seller,
Oh,
because it came up on the inspection report. The buyer was very concerned, of course. So the seller installed those things in the house. I think they were like in a column of a home or something. And so the buyer, after buying the property, they were aware of the bats. So they did other extra measures afterwards. But that was something new that I hadn't experienced before, bats in the area.
it's
Uh,
something that is been happening, recently, I think. For the last what, maybe 2, 3 years, I've noticed because I've got two other people's friends, let's say at night, right? I mean, we're in a barbecue. And then all of a sudden they fly over your head. Boom.
yeah,
Really, I mean, they don't bother you, but they
yeah,
do fly. I mean, and they going high.
yeah.
Usually come from the palm trees.
I had another one. The house was, I think it was close to like a $500,000 home. The pictures look beautiful, and the house, the behind, I guess, the sink, there was the cabinet for the kitchen. Has a back of a wall of wood. When they looked way into behind that, I guess, wall, it had black mold or some type of mold, I guess, moisture that had been trapped in there. So the buyer was able to negotiate with the seller a pretty big concession, a decrease on the price to get that result. The buyer already had intention of tearing down the kitchen and making a new one,
Yeah.
but then in this case, he got extra money, so it helped
Where
them.
was the mold at? Was it visible?
Yes, it was visible. It's like on the bottom kitchen cabinet when you would
Um,
open the doors, like in the wood.
so basically, it's close to the sink, to the
Closer
kitchen,
to the sink, in
yeah,
the kitchen,
because of the humidity.
because
Wow.
of the humidity.
But he didn't notice this, right? When before getting the
No,
house.
he hadn't seen it. Nobody
Okay,
had seen it.
sellers,
Well,
friends.
because when you go see you're not opening closets, you're not opening the pantry. I mean, you do look just to see size, but you're not really. You don't want to intrude in people's things, especially
Exactly.
if the house is still occupied. You're not gonna do that, or most people won't, I guess. So I guess they saw the kitchen. They just saw that it looked nice, but they didn't go and open everything until the inspection was done.
Sheen. Okay, sellers, if you're listening to this, okay, when you're gonna enter the market, I mean, this is a tip, right? Try to open every single door, especially in the kitchen or in the wet areas. For example, bathrooms, kitchen, basically bathrooms and kitchen, right? So try to open the cabinets because if there's anything there, right, either replace the piece of wood. I think that would be the best thing to do. Just replace the piece of wood.
I would say, as a seller, if you're selling the house, make sure that the house you've tightened out the nuts or the screws or taking care of as much as you can, because somebody's gonna come inspect it. So you don't want a lot of little things coming up. I mean, if you already have deferred maintenance, take
Yes.
care of the stuff. That way,
Thank
if
you.
a tile is loose, maybe fix it again, whatever, so that there's less issues on the report. Because sometimes I've had inspections where customers have backed down and I seen the report and I'm like, no
What?
big deal. Like this is stuff that can be fixed. But sometimes buyers get overwhelmed by seeing so many pages.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. Nowadays, the new buyers or the new generation buyers, right, the ones that are buying now, they're very careful, and you need to be very careful with them because, well, sellers, us, realtors, right, we need to explain everything how it should have always been done. But also, they're very specific about checking, opening doors, right? And I mean, you only have one chance.
Yeah.
Once they know something that they feel uncomfortable about, it's going to be very difficult for them to continue with the purchase. Definitely. So if you know of anything, sellers, right? This is all, I mean, we're talking about buyers and step number 9 about inspections. But I also have seen sellers wasting a lot of time, right? I mean, to sell the property just because we didn't go through every single little aspect of the home. So exactly how Anita said, right? I mean, let's try to fix, the condition of your home. We all know, right?
Yeah.
So you
A
know,
window doesn't open or something.
open, the dishwasher isn't working. I mean, those are the common things, right? I mean, so then make sure that you fix all of those items because they will come up and you will lose some money because they're going to negotiate. And you
Yeah.
don't even know what if this buyer walks away.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't
We
want.
lose a lot of time.
Exactly. So in my experience, I usually spend a lot of time with my sellers, trying to educate them about that, right? Especially, let's do this, let's do that. Sometimes the houses that I list, they don't come into the market when I list them. Sometimes it's like 2 weeks after I listed them because we've been working on preparing the home. Like I don't allow my sellers just to hit the market, just to hit the market. No, because I already know everything that is going to happen, right? So then I always tell them, no, let's, fix this issue. Let me know when this is done. And then we do the next part. And then we stage and then we clean and then we paint, whatever it is needed. Now, don't feel, concerned about these sellers. If you're listening to me, not all houses need a lot of touch-ups. Some of them do, some of them don't, right? And that's why we're experts. We'll walk the house and we'll let you know what it is that you need to do. Only what we know that is going to scare a buyer or it might not pass an inspection. Because remember, we're already thinking about the regular inspections and then we're thinking about the appraisal inspections. So we already know, what things need to be fixed and done, right? That way we can sell your home as soon as possible
Yeah.
without any
If it's a safety issue, fix it, like smoke detectors, stuff like that.
the mold.
Cosmetic, no, because cosmetic, you don't have to paint the house or change the rug. I mean, people are buying a used home.
Exactly.
So don't, yeah, just clean it, make it look okay, presentable.
And that's what I noticed that some people always ask me, what should I do to sell my house? Well, we're not asking you to remove carpets. We're not asking you to do new tile, remodel the kitchen, and etc. No, just the house has to be in good condition. We never said update it. Now, it would have been great, right? I mean, a great tip will be update your home once a year, I will say, right? That whenever you sell your home is going to be completely updated, right? You get a lot more money. But if you don't have that and you didn't do it, right? As long as everything is working condition, right? Then you're gonna be good. Right? Nothing to worry. Anna, thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Edie.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you for all your advice and your golden nuggets today.
And I learned a lot.
Of course, I do too. Every time that you're talking about lending,
I'm
I
usually
love
not involved with inspection, so I don't know a lot about the topic, but I learned.
it. Good. Okay, so you have any questions? You can call me anytime.
Thank you. I will.
And thank you so much, friends, for watching the show. Let us know if you have any questions about buying, selling, building, investing, lending. Okay, we're here to help you. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. See you soon next Monday.
Yes.